Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. All right. Share this link real quick. What's going on, guys? Johnny Trades back with another Sunday Stock Talk. Welcome. This is where we go over stocks that we're watching for the week, the overall direction of the NASDAQ market and Bitcoin, as well as some of your stock picks that you see value in. So do me a favor, subscribe to the channel and smash that like button if this is your first time watching. And also, you can actually comment the company or stock or ETF that you want me to go over for you in the comment section below, and we will get to that in just a few minutes. So this also sets everyone up for our game plan for the week. We want to make sure that everyone is aware of market conditions and that we are doing our part in making sure that we stay consistently profitable. All right, that's what it's all about. So we're going to make sure that everything is good. We're going to wait for a couple of minutes for people to join. And yeah, it looks like we're starting to get a couple of people now. Again, you're more than welcome to comment in the live comment section. And yeah, excited to have you all. Let's go ahead and go from there. Okay, perfect. Links are shared. Looks like everyone is in. Or not everyone, but we are getting some members coming in here, which is fantastic. And we're excited to have you all. So here we go. We are live. And if you guys are interested in watching me trade live, as soon as tomorrow morning, it is the first link in the description and the first pinned comment in the comment section. And you can actually watch me go live, trade with real money, make real profits, all while asking questions and talking with other investors in our LTE community. It is 100% free and it is lifetime access. Now, there's less than 300 spots. I've been talking about this all month long. We just crossed over 700 members on the Discord. We now have over 7,500 members on the YouTube channel, and our Investing for Beginners community on Facebook has 71,000 members, guys. So combined, we have right around 80,000 people in our circle that all want to do nothing more than just learn how to be more consistently profitable in the stock market. So there's a lot of different resources. They're all free right now. But again, this Discord will not be free for long. I will be charging $25 for lifetime access after we cross over that 1,000 member mark. All right, so with that said, QQQ overall pushing up on Friday to 625. Now that is not all-time highs. 637 would be all-time highs, but it did not do a good job by actually getting up to that 628 level. So we could see some continuation going into this week. Doesn't mean we have to, but it's definitely very possible. And with that said, we had some selling pressure on Friday, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with a little selling pressure. It looks like it's right back to where it was on Thursday and Friday, bouncing right off of this level here. It even looks like it's a bit lower. We can go and take this down to like 623. So the overall NASDAQ market is pushing and or trying to hold above $623. So I do have my alert set. If it drops below $623, we could see some more selling pressure, maybe down to 621, 622. And why is this important? Well, it's important because when the overall NASDAQ market sells off, it usually takes many tech stocks and other stocks down with it. When it pushes up, it creates a nice bullish area or bullish sentiment for many other companies as well. So the market doesn't open probably for another 2 hours in the overnight trading session. I usually like to do these Sunday stock talks when the market is open. We can see whether it jumped up, jumped below, or maintained across the board. But unfortunately, I do have some other commitments that I have to do around that time. We're going to be going live. It is Sunday. It is a weird period, right? It's Christmas break. We are very close to New Year's, And there's only going to be a few trading days next week. So we have, I believe, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We will be able to trade those days. The markets will be closed on Thursday, January 1st, 2026, and then they will resume overnight hours, obviously, and then trading on Friday. So we actually have one less day to trade next week. Just like last week, we only had, we had 2 half days and one day where the market was closed. So really, we only had two, maybe even if you want to say 3 days of trading, but we were still showing up. We were still here making money, and we did a great job at locking in profits last week. We made over $250 trading MSTZ, but that's neither here nor there. We're not here to talk about those. I have plenty of recap videos and past live streams that you can watch, not only on the channel, but in the Discord. That is where I archive all of my past live streams. So not only do you get access to past live streams, but to all the future live streams when you join our Discord. So, other than that, guys, I want to go over Bitcoin real quick. Bitcoin right now, again, we traded it on Friday. It had this very nice head and shoulder pattern here and took a huge dump down to 86,000, which was incredible because we made a really decent amount of money on this trade. You could always watch that video as well. But we shorted Bitcoin that day. And now I have this little crosshair here, this yellow line, not only horizontal but vertically. This is where it closed on Friday at 4:30 my time is when the market closes, and it was a great trade, right? So with that said, it looks like it kind of flatlined over the weekend. Saturday didn't really make any movement. Sunday didn't make any movement, which is crazy because if we go back to where the market closed on Wednesday before Christmas on the 24th, it had some huge movement from 4:30 that time. I mean, some huge movement, a lot of volatility. It pushed up, it came down, it pushed all the way back up, and then the market opened on the day after Christmas and it just completely sold off. So we're not getting a lot of volatility as we saw last week in the middle of the week as we are this week. Now, of course, as I'm talking right now, you're seeing a lot of volatility with Bitcoin. We can see this spike up very nicely. A very bullish green candle could in fact increase this. But right now we are seeing a lot of consolidation, I'd say, right around that $87,000 mark. Now, if it pushes up to 90 and we do not break 90, we will get another rejection. If we cannot hold 87 either, we can see another rejection to a lower low. We're talking like 85,000, maybe 84,000, something like that. So I am open to shorting this again if there is a significant push up, short it at the top, or if it continues to consolidate and we see a big red candle like this, I would not mind shorting it through MSTZ. And again, we did a great job trading MSTZ. We did miss out on most of this move right here. If we were buying down at the low and selling at the high, we could have made easily $1 per share, but we did a good job by at least locking in about 50 cents per share on this run up. So not a bad trade. Again, this is not a recap video. I could also bring this down, order book level 2. We're only going to need that when we actually trade in the morning. So I'll increase the size of our screen. But again, nice horizontal pattern. MSTZ has been doing very good with this ascending pattern. It was trading a horizontal pattern for quite some time, buying at 13, selling at 15, buying at 14, selling at 16, and then it broke out, went all the way up to 1669. And now we are seeing a little bit of pullback here. I'm excited to see. Now, MSTZ is the two-time inverse ETF of MSTR. And for all of you who know, we like to call MSTR, it's not just micro strategies, but we like to call it micro tragedy. Yes, because it has been selling off not only for a couple of days, weeks, or months, but it's been selling off all the way back since November of 2024. So almost a full year of selling pressure from $543 all the way down to lows of 240 and then back up to 450. And since this high of 450 in July of this year, July 2025, it has been selling off. So we are calling this micro tragedies. Michael Saylor has not done a great job as far as trying to create more hype and trying to make more money or more investment strategies on increasing this. Now remember, MSTR is a Bitcoin holding company. They have no revenue, they don't sell anything, they don't really do anything besides hold Bitcoin. And honestly, that's a huge downfall, because if Bitcoin goes down, then micro tragedy will go down with it. And right now, we're seeing that it is down 66%. Okay, so there is a lot of bag holders. There's a lot of people that are wishing and hoping this thing will skyrocket back up. But one thing I know about markets is they don't care what you want. It doesn't care what you hope for. All that matters is the direction that it takes, and hopefully you're on the right side of it. So we have been seeing a lot of rejection, even recently back in December 10th, 11th, some strong rejection off of that 200-day moving average, the green line. It tried to get back up above that green line on December 22nd, and it got rejected again. So I'd love to see this continue to make lower lows and continue to get rejected, maybe even getting down to that $150 mark, maybe even getting down even lower than that. But it looks like it is finding a bit of support around 155. So I would be very careful, as there is some support right around 155. It did make a new low of about 154.12, but 155 would be an area of potential bounce. Okay, now if it does get below that level, I wouldn't mind shorting it by trading MSTZ. We could see this push up from $15. At one point, I believe it even pushed up to $17. So there is a little bit of potential here. It's at $15.90 after hours. Buying 100 shares at $16, selling it at $17. You're making $100 per share. But again, I want you guys to be aware this is very overbought. This can easily curl back over and go back down to some lower lows. So again, this is a very risky play. But I am loving the way that Bitcoin is pushing up. If this continues to push up, create this kind of resistance here or this horizontal pattern up at these levels, I would not mind taking another trade somewhere around 90,000 for a nice little short off of Bitcoin, as that looks like about the high that it was at. So yeah, I mean, a lot can happen. It's still below that moving average. I know you see a lot of lines and different things, but we've been trading Bitcoin and shorting it for at least a couple of weeks now, and we were doing a great job by locking in profits on MSTZ. Again, we made over $200 the week before. We just locked in another $250 in profits last week, and these were very short trading days. So this week, again, the markets are going to be closed on Thursday, so we really have 4 days of trading instead of 5, and I want to make sure that I capitalize and maximize our full potential on this week ahead. So if you guys have any stocks that you want me to take a look at, then definitely comment them in the description below. If you're just tuning in for the first time, go back. I talked a lot about QQQ, the overall direction of the market, and what happens whether we get a bounce to new highs or if we get more of a rejection and it sells off. We just talked about Bitcoin and how I've been shorting it, and now we're going to talk about a couple of companies that I see interest in. So I have not been on the computer since Friday, so we're just gonna roughly look at a couple of setups that might be there. We could see some potential bouncing for open. We could see a potential bounce around 574. Again, I have my alerts set. They've been set, and that's one great thing about having a watch list, because that'll showcase the same companies every single day, every single week. You can set alerts. That way you're not constantly either forgetting which stock you were looking at or constantly trying to find new opportunities in new stocks. And then before you know it, you have 100, 200 different companies you're trying to look at, and you're just more confused than anything. So open, we've been doing a great job by tracking this. It looks like it bounces off about 574. Now we did see a low of 442 back at the beginning of November, and then it shot all the way up to 879. So Open Door Technology has some great potential bounce, but again, only if we see some more upward momentum. Looks like it's been getting rejected off of this 45 EMA, and so as long as it continues to get rejected off of this blue line, we will not see any upward momentum. Bull, another company that I've been watching for quite some time. It got above that moving average. It spiked up to $10 and then it fell to hold above it, getting rejected. It tried to come back up to retest, but it got rejected there as well. So this green line is acting as a resistance, not a support. I'd love to see this bounce off of 760s or even $8. Doesn't mean it has to, but the risk to reward on this is actually a lot better than you would think, right? If you're buying at $8, maybe you're risking 5% to make about 10% back to that moving average. So still a very nice risk to reward, risking about 1 to make 2. Now, if it bounces up above that, then we could see highs of 24%, right? Now we're talking like a 1 for 5. Now, what happens if this comes below? If it starts to go below, potentially get a bounce off of 760, maybe you're buying in around 770, 780, because again, we're not the perfect trader. But if we do get that 775, 778 mark, and it does go below, 769, 766, then of course we'd want to cut our losses. But risking 1 or 2% for a potential bounce up to even that EMA, that's a 1 for 10, making 10%. So that's actually like a 1 for 5. If it goes back up to this moving average, we're talking about a 15% profit. And if we could somehow get back up to that resistance level from just even a few days ago, this was maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago on December 9th, then we could see a nice 30% profit on WEBULL. Not saying it'll happen, but I just want you guys to be aware of that. Sound has been doing a great job by just maintaining this consolidation period. It did have a small breakout period there for a minute, but honestly, it's been a lot less volatile recently, as we were able to buy at 11s and sell at 13. That was $2 per share in a matter of just a couple of days here. All right, just by following this company and watching it bounce, that was a 17% profit in 2 days. And that would have been the trade to take. Now it just keeps getting rejected, not only off of this 200-day moving average, the green line, but it's also been getting rejected off of the 45 EMA. So I would love to see this not make any lower lows, but if it goes below $10.50, then we're just going to keep watching it. $10.35 is a strong support, so maybe we'll see it bounce off of that level. But until it gets above this 45 EMA, which is right around $11 per share, then I really don't want to mess with it. Now, if we do get some good continuation, some good upward momentum, not only by the NASDAQ, but even NVIDIA, then we could see Sound push up to those $13 levels again, and we're in a much better position. I mean, we're talking at least a solid 20% profit, and maybe we're only risking, 1%, if that. Even buying right here at this level, at like 1060, if it were to open at 1060, we're risking about 20 cents per share, almost 2% to potentially make, even to the moving average, that's a 10% profit. If it can push back up to those $13 levels, we're talking like a 20% profit. That would be a 1 for 10 risk to reward. And that's why I like these setups so much, because if they do play out, we can see some more reward potential, more profit potential than actual risk. And that's what makes these setups so great. Now, LUNR, we've been talking about LUNR for quite some time. It had that nice horizontal pattern, those consolidation periods, and these setups is what I like to call the 3 stages of a reversal. You have your rejection period, you have your consolidation period, and then you have your confirmation period. And you really want to trade these during that confirmation period at this breakout of consolidation. Looks like right around $9. It pushed all the way up to $14, guys. Okay, and LUNR, of course, is a space exploration company. They do have several missions that they are doing currently, and they have several other missions that they're going to be going moving forward. So this went up 55% in 28 days. Okay, now it did consolidate for quite some time and came back down. And again, we had the 3 stages of reversal right in this horizontal pattern, because history does tend to repeat itself. It bounced right off the same levels, which was around $8, and it pushed all the way up, guys. Not only did it go up to that previous 13, 14, $15. It went all the way up to $17.50. So again, buying that breakout at $9.50 and selling at, we're not the perfect trader, so maybe not even the high, but maybe selling there at that $16.80 mark. That was a 68% profit in 20 days. Now, it also came back down to retest what used to be a resistance, because why? Sometimes resistance levels or red lines can get validated as new support levels and then turn into strong support levels. And that's exactly what it did there, resulting in another beautiful trade, buying at 10, even selling at 17, where there's a lot of consolidation for that reversal, could have resulted in 65% profit. And we're talking in 5 to 7 days. Okay, so 1 week to make 60% profit. That is not a bad deal. Now, moving forward, what would we do with this? Well, it's not looking so good at the moment. We can see this come back down. It could test $14, and if it tests this resistance as a new support level, then we could see a strong bounce off of $14, maybe even going back up to $17.50, $18, maybe even $20. But I don't want to get your hopes up with this company, as this was an extremely overbought setup right now. This can come all the way back down to not only $10, but all the way back down to $8. So I want you guys to be very aware of that. And there's no way that I would ever tell you what to buy or what to sell. That's not what I do here. I'm simply just showing you guys setups that I've seen in the past and setups that could potentially happen in the future. And that's what's so great about watching the same amount of companies every single week. You could pick 5 stocks and track them every single week. Doesn't mean you have to trade them, but you're setting your alerts, you're setting those trend lines, you're making sure that you're putting your support and resistance levels in there, and you're watching them, right? I have built up a capacity of around 20 companies that I can maintain and watch every single day, week, month, year, and that is a comfortable level that I'm able to do, right? Buying at $8, $9, holding and selling at 12, even just $1 up from where you bought can be $100 a day. Okay, I want you guys to be aware of that. Now, if you do have any companies you want me to review, go ahead and put them in the comments below, and I would love to review whatever company, stock, or ETF you have. Other than that, I'm just going to keep going down the list. We're going to go a little faster now that you guys basically know the concepts, you know the trading strategies that I have, you know basically what support and resistance is and moving averages are. I don't have to keep explaining myself over each one, because now you guys should have a good grasp on exactly what I'm looking at and what I'm seeing. And if not, you have any questions, feel free to ask a question in the live comments. That's why we have them. We have the live chat here to be a resource to you if you feel confused, or if you want to just say hi. That's okay too. Now, SoFi, again, getting rejected. It is coming up to these buy levels. I'd rather buy down at $25 or $26 than way up here. A lot of investors will buy the breakout of the $30 or $32 mark, hoping for more upward momentum. And sometimes these horizontal patterns just don't play out that way. They have resistance levels that they get rejected off of and make lower lows, and they have support levels that they tend to like, where people buy at the support to push up to new highs. And right now I'm not really seeing it with SoFi. It's not something I'd really want to invest in right now, so for that reason I don't really have any alerts set. Now again, this could push up to those 30s if it can get above the moving average, and it could also continue to get rejected down to those $25 mark, $23 mark. Century Aluminum, guys, again, another solid company that we've been watching not only for a day or two, but we've been watching this sucker for probably a year. Okay, a year. Buying at 25, selling at 35, $10 per share. Beautiful play from Century Aluminum. Tariffs are really helping this company to push higher and higher. It went up 36% in 28 days. Okay, we're not talking a year. We're not talking 2 or 3 years. We're not talking even a few months. We're talking in one single month, in 28 days, this went up 36%. Why? Because history tends to repeat itself. Look at this. It did it before. It pushed off of $26 and jumped up to $35 in 26 days. 35% profit. All we had to do was wait for it to come back down, retest the support where it previously had support, and ride it all the way up. And not only did it surpass that $35 mark, or 40%, it's up to $40 now, which is 57% profit in 35 days. History does tend to repeat itself. Now, if you miss this breakout, don't be discouraged. Don't have FOMO. Don't try to buy at this $40 level, because this can come back down, and it could come back down hard. Okay, if you're buying at these levels, I would recommend you locking in some profits, because this can come back down 12%. Back to $35. It could even trickle all the way back down to 26. Okay, and it doesn't have to. This can actually hold and maintain $40 for a long time. But these are the setups that we talk about every week. What, 3 or 4 Sunday stocks ago? 3 or 4 Sunday stock talks ago, we were talking about buying this at the $25, $26 mark. Now, a month later, it not only surpassed our trade setup, our trade plan at 35, but it pushed up to $40. Okay, that's the power of showing up every day, and the power of going over the same companies every single week and identifying these patterns. So great play from Century Aluminum. Chipotle, another company that we've been calling out. It had a huge sell-off from $42.82 all the way down to $29. It validated $29 as a support level, and it's been pushing up ever since. From $29 up to $38, it's up 27% again in about 28 days. So only 30 days to make 27%. And you guys are like, well, it's not 100%, it's not 50%, but 28% is a very important number. That's literally 1% a day. Imagine making 1% a day. Yeah, that's 28%. And 1% might not sound like a lot, but if you have $1,000, that's only $10. If you have $10,000, that's literally, well, 1% would only be $100, but $100 is significant. Now, if you had $1,000 account and you made 26%, that's $260. Okay? $2,000 account, you just made $520 in a month of extra income. So now your account went from $2,000 to $2,500 in a month. Just think about that for a second. We're not here to make 50, 100% a day. What I like to do is aim for those 1 or 2% moves a day. I like to get those 10% moves, and I might not catch it all because I'm not the perfect trader. But if I'm aiming and I'm risking 1%, say about $10 to $20, to make 10%, $100 to $200 per trade, and I only get 5% of that move, I'm making 50 to $100, right? So by understanding percentages and the fact that even smaller percentages can make you decent money, that is the game changer. Okay? So again, Chipotle, I don't see this going down. I mean, it could potentially come back down, retest 37. It could even come back down to $34 where a lot of this consolidation was. But we will only know when direction is favorable. If it bounces off this 45 EMA, it's been doing a great job holding above this blue line. And if it can maintain and hold, we can get a bounce off of 37.40 for a nice pushback up to 38.30. That's $1 per share. If it gets rejected, we could see this come back down and retest that green line or the moving average. Intel setting up again for a nice 3 stages of reversal. Sorry guys, I'm drinking my Coke Zero. If you know, you know. Got daily vlogs coming out that you guys can watch. And we got a trip coming up soon that I'm excited to share with you guys. Nonetheless, we have areas of consolidation, not just back in October, but just recently in November. And now it had a nice little bounce during Christmas Eve. So again, if we can get a bounce to some higher highs, Intel can push up. Great. But right now, it looks like Intel is got a lot of selling pressure below this 45 EMA. It's probably going to come back down and retest, maybe even consolidate and bounce within this level before getting a nice rally back up. But I could see Intel pushing up very nicely if we do validate this as a support. And if it doesn't validate this as a support, this thing could crash back down to those lows of about $25. So this one is a little bit more risky of a play than some of the other ones that I mentioned. That's something that I would be interested in shorting right now. PayPal, again, holding up above $57, but it's a little overpriced for me right now. I believe it can get a little cheaper. I'd love to see a breakout, but buying at 60 to potentially get back up to 82, that's wishing and hoping. I don't think it can get back up to that level, not anytime soon. So for that reason, I'm not going to be trading this. There's a lot of consolidation and a lot of rejection off of this green line for PayPal. You'd probably have a better chance of trading Hood. Hood had a lot of consolidation between 113 and 118. Looks like it sold off all the way down to $101. So that is a very, that's a very interesting support level to have at about $102. This can go all the way back down to 102. It could retest at 113 and get a bounce, or this thing could just continue to sell off. Now, if we can hold these levels, get above this moving average and get some signs of bullishness, then maybe we can see some more upward momentum. But right now, it's just not happening for Hood. NVIDIA, again, a nice horizontal pattern, bouncing off of 173, pushing up to 190, coming back down to 170. Okay, so this would have been the area to buy. 170 to 173 would have been the area to buy NVIDIA. It's now up to 192 and then came back down to 190. So it is at $190. Looks like there is some strong resistance at that level. I don't know if you guys can see it as well as I can, but I'm seeing resistance, right? It's created more resistance here, 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 and now here. So we can see a smaller horizontal pattern. For this one, I'd probably wait and see if we get that support on the EMA or the 200 MA. If it doesn't hold support down at 180s, 185, then it could potentially come all the way back down to 170s. And it could just literally push right up and start going back up to 198, 200, 207 if it sees fit. So yeah, that's pretty much all the companies that I wanted to go over today. Lululemon had a nice push up, as you can see, but now consolidating at these new levels between 200 and 220. Amazon, another company that we watch, it had a nice horizontal pattern for a while, but now it's breaking out. It's getting above that moving average. So I'd love to see this push higher, but there's just a lot of consolidation. There is something holding it down right around 233. It can't seem to get above 233. And for that reason, I'm not really that interested in trading Amazon. Apple getting rejected. Had a nice run from 263, bouncing off of that moving average, pushing up to 288, and then getting rejected. Consolidated and flatlined, got rejected again. Pushed all the way down to 266. Now, it's having trouble even getting above the 200-day moving average. Keeps getting rejected off of the moving average. So we can see some lower lows for Apple in the next couple days or weeks to come. Google, again, beautiful move from 233 up to 333. That was $100 per share on Google. And we're talking in about a month and a half, 43 days, it went up 50%. 50% or $100 per share in 45 days. Now, can it hold these levels? It's possible. You could also see a nice correction back down to some previous lows. Tesla, same thing. It had some strong resistance at about 479. This used to be a red line because of resistance, and it is a red line again. As you can see, it was support for just a moment in time. It was acting as a support level, pushed up to 500, got rejected, and now it's below this line, confirming it as a resistance level. So now we could see Tesla sell off to maybe 450s, maybe even 440s before getting a nice pop back up. Or we could see this just trickle back down to 380s, even $350 levels. So hope you guys enjoyed. Again, I go over the same companies. We have 20 companies or less that I go over every single week on Sunday. And then I go over Bitcoin as well. Looks like it's getting rejected. So a lot of resistance right around 87. That's great to know. That is a great area to know, because if it cannot hold above this level, we're going to continue to get rejection. It looks like there's a lot of consolidation, a lot of support right around this level as well. So we're going to go ahead and delete this line, this yellow line. Wow. It's not letting me grab it. That's weird. Anyways, I'd like to... What the heck? That's weird. Anyways, looks like I got some rejection at 87, so we could see some lower lows for Bitcoin in the overall market tomorrow. I'm excited to see what happens with you all tomorrow morning at market open. Go ahead and do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, and we will see you all tomorrow. Oh my gosh, my hair is a mess. Why don't you guys tell me? But anyways, we'll see you guys in the morning, bright and early at market open for a live day trading session. The only place you can watch and the only place that is available is in the Discord. So join the Discord. It's 100% free, lifetime access. I'll never charge you if you get in now. But if you are too late and you are that 1,001 member, you will have to pay a small fee to get in. It is lifetime access, and you get full access. You get my Learn to Earn lesson library. You get all of my past live streams and future live streams, and you get to connect with like-minded individuals who want to do the same thing you want to do, and that's learn how to be more consistently profitable in the stock market. So thank you for your time, and you guys have a great rest of your Sunday, and we'll see you all tomorrow morning. Later, guys.